ring. Yeah, you know we get it on. Downtime in the ring. We gon' hustle till it's gone. Downtime in the ring. Yeah, you know we get it on. Downtime in the ring. Yeah, we got it till it's gone. Downtime in the ring. Yeah, you know we get it on. Downtime in the ring. Yeah, we hustle till it's gone.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Downtime in the Ring. What is going on? This is another live we are going to try and do consistently throughout this year. This week, we have a lot of cool shit to talk about. We have TNA coming back. I think that was probably the one thing that I've been the most hype about. I know we have a bunch of other wrestling through a bunch of other companies and a bunch of other topics to talk about. But first off, what's up, Chris?
What's up? TNA took the trophy for most interesting this week, I feel.
Yeah. TNA like I think what we can talk about is the fact that we are in our late 20s and we are seeing a revergence of TNA, like something that we never thought we would come back.
Man, when they had the yellow ring ropes, dude, and it brought me back to when we first watched that very first episode of TNA. I was just like, dude, it's old TNA again.
It's old TNA. It had
but with new faces, and it's got the attitude like it did.
And the women's tag team titles match, when it was
that was great.
When it had Masha though, when she was crawling on Decay, I was like, oh, that's knockout shit. That's knockout shit.
Oh, it's so good. And then the Alex Shelley Moose match was Preem. Alex Shelley, you were an amazing champion. It sucks that you couldn't lead it further into it, but man, I want it. I want Alex Shelley to recapture it now. It makes me want that chase again. And then after the match, let's really talk about why we really need to talk about TNA. The most wanted man,
Nick Nemeth.
Dude.
Oh,
have you heard that song? He got downstate to do his song like the rest of them. Oh, dude. I want it, and it's that Motley Crue style that Nick Nemeth is always loves and stuff, and I want it.
It's perfect, dude.
He is the champion that we all need and never got.
I don't know how to feel, because at no point did I think, oh yeah, we were gonna have Nick Nemeth debut in TNA. Like, just sit back, think about that. Nick Nemeth debuting in TNA. Nobody would have thought of that. 2024, no. Xia Brookside. So I watched the pay-per-view live. I watched Hard to Kill live, and I was texting the Discord through it. And the way that her face lit up when the announcer said making her TNA debut, Xia Brookside, brought tears. I was like, I want that. I want that moment, because I'm just like her, who never thought we would get to hear the words making their TNA debut. Dude,
I was thrown off by the Dana Brooke or Ash by Elegance as she goes by. I was thrown off. I was like, is that? And I looked at her. I double took. I was like, is that Dana Brooke?
That is Dana.
That's Dana Brooke, but with Tony Storm style.
See, so she just did an interview. She just did a podcast where she was like, I haven't cut a promo. I haven't done a move. I haven't said anything technically, because she never said anything that we could hear on the pay-per-view. And she's like, they're already comparing me to somebody else. Like, I haven't gotten to do anything.
Yeah, and it sucks. But I'm just like there's only one other person that does that kind of style with that hair and everything. And it's like, it was hard not to. And I'm just like, at first I thought it was
yeah,
Tony Storm. I was like, what? Forbidden Door again?
It could have been, but no. I was like, all right, because they had teased her earlier in the pay-per-view. They had
Yeah,
teased her, but they didn't show her face. They just showed her
stilettos.
high heels, her get up, and her hair. And then somebody went to I was looking through Twitter, and somebody had shown a picture. She had done a promo after or like a photo shoot after she got released, and she had those same high heels. And so I was like, oh, it's Dana Brooke. Like there's no surprise really. And like I don't really know what to say, honestly, because it's like, oh, okay, so we're getting Trinity back in the WWE, and to trade for that, they're getting Dana Brooke.
I mean, it sucks because we never really saw a lot of Dana Brooke. Like not in context, so like we've seen a lot of Dana Brooke
Yeah.
all over the course of her NXT career, her main roster run and stuff. But like, there's instances where like she was brought out before the show just to hype the crowd up, you know, and
Yeah.
like she was that kind of person, and she's got the crowd involvement aspect of everything. But as far as it's going to be a true test for her to see what she can do in the ring as far as outside of the WWE now, because this is now her platform, and therefore I'm interested in seeing what she can do. It's it now. Are you going to do the trade off where it's like we lost Naomi for Dana Brooke? Now think of it this way: I would rather say we lost Naomi in favor of Zaya Brookside. We lost Naomi in favor
Yeah.
of Dana Brooke. We lost Naomi in favor. If we're gonna do the whole, they lost the WWE superstar, they gained Nick Nemeth. You know, we can do it.
Yeah.
We can fight that. We can
Yeah.
fight that. So, is it a total loss? Kind of, because Naomi did have that. Like, she still has one more scheduled match before she actually leaves. But that's also something I want to talk about. I like how they built it, because it was like they at Hard to Kill, it was really positioned to be like her final match, Naomi's.
Yeah.
And yet she's still booked for another match on television. But
Yeah.
it's also pans out well, because if she does make the return for Royal Rumble, but she has to fulfill this contract date, you know, this last date, it can propose the like, oh yeah, she was in the Royal Rumble, but why is she still in TNA? You know,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I know what you're
So
talking about.
you
Kind of
see,
like when
so
we got the
Tommaso
that old,
Ciampa.
yeah, Tommaso
So
Ciampa, or what I was going to bring up is I think it was Bound for Glory, the night that WWE and TNA traded Ric Flair and Christian.
oh yeah.
And Christian Cage came back for one night. Yeah. It
So
could be something like that.
I'm excited for TNA. It like I'm just thinking like I just my only thing is I wish, and I know his last match is in AEW. I get it. I do get it, but I want Sting to just be in TNA one more time. You know, like just to say like thank you to the crowd, so, like something like that. If it's a match, I mean, I ain't opposed. But like I feel like TNA coming back to its original identity, and then having Sting come back to that would make things so much great. Like I think I can see TNA having like just have the main event Mafia come back, you know, like, and it doesn't have to be all of them. It can be booked, you know, like, but just have Angle, just have Sting, have Nash. They're all available.
Scott Steiner.
Steiner, you know,
Steiner.
if AEW can pull some string, you know, like if they can, you know, have what's it called? Christian come back, you know, and be like,
You already know, like the moment, like you got to be. Tony Khan is what we love and hate about Vince McMahon. He's a great businessman. He's just bad people skills, basically. You already know the dollar signs were like, oh, TNA cross AEW, old time fans with new time fans. Also, Christian with the opportunity to get another TNA World Championship, or Samoa Joe,
You
because we
know,
can't have AJ.
we'll
We can't have
have
AJ.
Joe versus Moose. If we're gonna book a TNA X AEW match, have Joe champion, Moose champion,
Oh
and
no, that would be
it would break.
the amount of cooking that would do, the amount of, oh my god, dude, who would like, there's so
Also,
much tribalism and love for them. What would we make out of that? Jesus fucking
I
Christ.
also want Bucks versus Machine Guns.
One more. Oh, wait.
One more
Yeah,
time.
one more time. Yeah, we have had that before. Yeah,
They've
one
had
more
I
time.
think it was a best of 3 series that they
Did
had.
they?
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
because it was the
But
empty
were they
arena
Generation
match.
Me?
They were Generation Me as that, but I mean, hey, come back. We're the fucking EVPs of a company, dog. And what are y'all?
Ah,
Just champions still in the same company that's kept like the promos in that, dude. And like call back to their empty arena match when they did you ever watch that match?
no, I didn't.
So the first like kind of like an initial match that made the Young Bucks for me at least was when it was them as Generation Me versus the Motor City Machine Guns in an empty arena match. And they there's a point specifically the moment in that match was Chris Sabin handcuffing Matt Jackson to the second turnbuckle in the corner, right? And they're like, you think Alex Shelley is yelling at Matt Jackson because they're rookies in this. Remember, the veterans versus the rookies.
Yeah.
They're like, you think you're better than me? You think you're better than me? And then they start like just like uh gun squad, like taking their turn super kicking Matt Jackson constantly. And then Matt Jackson just kind of like, is that all you got? Is that all you got? And then he spits at them, spits at both the machine guns, and then they just do their patented double super kick and end the match then and there. So, and then and then I think what ended that rivalry was I think it was like a TLC, like, or what's it called? Their version of a TLC.
Okay.
TNA's version of a TLC where they had the titles up and there was a spot in the match where they put 2 large ladders, right? And they put a table in between them. And Chris Sabin and Nick Jackson are fighting on top of the table, barely,
Yeah.
as it's wobbling. And like, dude, and they ended like Machine Guns won it, but dude, I want that to be if I had to book my own TNA AEW crossover pay-per-view, it would have to be that.
I want to see it. Oh, I want to see it because of the, oh my god, my mic. I want to see it because of the crazy shit that TNA did back in the day. Like, just imagine just the unique ideas that we could come up with. We could have like, a male knockouts champion, because that is a thing in TNA, where we could have like Anthony Bowens. We could
Have
have
Eric Young win the TBS title.
oh, I would love it. I would absolutely love it.
Have Eric Young win the TBS title. It's precedent.
There's so
He's
many people too that I'm like making their TNA debut. Orange Cassidy would absolutely lose my shit. Mox can come back to TNA now. We there's so many cool things about this, dude. Like, we've been texting about this too. We were like, oh, okay.
Well, especially since like we have a previous guest who showed up. You were all excited when Explosion came back. I was like, Explosion's back? And then we saw who was on Explosion was back.
Yeah. And I was like,
Uh,
oh, okay.
that dude, I guarantee you, we might as well say his name. Dante King made his
Yes.
TNA Explosion. How much you want? I want to know. I want to interview him again just to ask him, like, what the fuck was that like being in a TNA Explosion match? Like, what?
For anybody who's going to watch it, he put in great effort, and the people he went up against, let alone too, are like, what year is this? What year
right?
is this? What are we doing? Am I like 10, 11 years old again? I'm so happy.
Dude, I'm so excited for. Again, I reiterate, like I said at like we said at the beginning of this, TNA has won the award for this week of being the
Yes.
most interesting show so far, and I love it. It's now not just a AEW versus WWE tribal battle. Now it's like, oh no, y'all forgot about TNA, dog. Like y'all forgot about TNA.
Like that's crazy too. The product has changed a bit, and I could tell in the pay-per-view from the previous pay-per-views I've watched in the previous episodes, but 3 letters have instantly brought back so many wrestling fans. I I I can't wait until after we're done with this interview, so that I can rewatch the first ever 2024 episode of TNA because it's currently going right now.
I
Um,
know.
a
I
lot
wish
of
I could
people
watch it.
we know what's gonna happen. I mean, like if you keep up, you already know a lot of the stuff that's already gonna happen. Plus the poster said Okada's gonna be there, Will Ospreay's going to be there. Like, ugh. TNA's coming. TNA's coming, and
I know.
we are excited. Hopefully, we get to go and watch it, get to talk to some TNA wrestlers, do all that kind of stuff. I'm super excited for 2024. We have a good chance at getting to do some of those cool things.
Mm-hmm. So
What else got you this week, though?
our truth. we need to talk about our truth here.
Oh
If
God,
there's a man who deserves his flowers for MVP of WWE style comedy, it's our truth. Last year it was Sammy with the dance,
yeah,
and the what's it called, Usi. Nah,
yes,
when our truth said, on the day I was born, I looked at the doctor and I said, I want to be in the Judgment Day. That was like Dusty Rhodes Hard Times style level promo, dude, and I loved it. And then the fact that he's all like, yeah, I was selling in this last episode of Raw. Yeah, I was
oh
selling
my God,
t-shirts. I was selling t-shirts at at marked up prices. I buy them, I sell them for just slightly cheaper, and then he just slaps a wad of cash to Damian Priest like that. There you go. Nice callback to the fact that our truth is outselling CM Punk. Like the Judgment Day has become the greatest. Like they were. I'm not gonna say like they were kind of stagnating, and then
yes.
our truth came in, and I'm just like, I want it. I want it all. I want the our truth shirt.
Okay, what would you say? Would you say that currently, as of right now, they are bigger than what the bloodline was when it got Sammy?
Oh,
And see, that's tough.
I don't know because there was so much drama involved with it. It hasn't reached that fever pitch drama just yet. Like they're still making fun of JD because again, he gives them the cut. He gives all each Judgment Day members a cut of the profits that he made off the
He
shirts he
doesn't give
sold,
it to
and he
Jade.
doesn't give it to JD because like, you're not a part of the Judgment Day. How many weeks am I supposed to tell you this? You lost the match. Long term storytelling. I absolutely love it, but it hasn't reached that point where with Sammy, it was yeah, we're you're kind of like hating on my best friend. You literally having me fight my own best friend. Our truth is just teaming with Miz, still thinking that he's a part of the Judgment Day, and he's all like it's supposed to hurt, right? You know?
My favorite part was in the middle of the match, he gave Finn Balor his fucking cut. I love that, dude. I was
Dude,
like,
I
oh,
think they could take this at least into Elimination Chamber. At least.
I'm seeing this even farther, dude. I'm seeing this as
So are you saying Awesome Truth for tag champions?
no.
No?
I'm
Okay.
saying that he's going to it may be like a kickoff show match, but it's gonna be R-Truth versus JD in Philadelphia for Mania.
Oh, it has to be an Extreme Rules match. It has to be a street fight.
Because it only makes sense. Like, I can see them carrying this so long. The Miz Truth kind of thing. No, I can't. I don't
The
see
Awesome
it.
Truth thing was a weird one because it was like I didn't expect Awesome Truth to reunite in 2024.
I
I
don't
didn't
see it.
care for him at the time, but now I'm just like, it works. It's one of those like very few and far in between Miz face turns, and it's just like, yeah, it works, but let's face it, R-Truth is dominating Raw. He's like the biggest baby face in Raw. I'm sorry, Cody. I'm sorry.
Who is the biggest signing to Raw? Was it Cody? Was it CM Punk? Or was it R-Truth? I think the world knows. It's
It's
R-Truth at this point.
dude, and I follow R-Truth on TikTok,
Oh no,
and it's do you not follow R-Truth on
I
TikTok?
don't follow
Dude,
R-
his lives are the greatest. His lives are the greatest.
What
Dude
are
has
they?
more social media interactivity than 95% of the WWE roster.
Well, yeah, because I mean, he could literally say anything on his lives and people are going to love it because it's R-Truth.
Mhm.
And the saddest part is, like, if you actually look at Ron Killings as a person, he's done so much crazy things
Yep.
that if he were to tell you a story about him and Tupac, you have to believe it. Like, there's no
He is
denying
a
it.
former NWA champion, and he deserves his flowers so much so now than it was back then.
Oh,
The
if I could
dude has
if we could interview R-Truth, I don't know what we would come up with, because every interview's tried, like, every time I've seen an R-Truth interview, they've tried to crack him to make him
the one
break.
the one time I didn't want to buy. It's funny too because it's after the fact. Now I feel bad that I didn't buy a 24/7 title. I feel bad. They're like, "Yep, you fucked up. You should have had it. Oh, it's
The
so good.
the
It's so good.
longest reigning, the most reigns European TV highway champion.
I-95 South Highway champion.
I
At
love
least
it.
he didn't undeclare for the Royal Rumble. He could be. He's in the Royal Rumble.
Oh God. Oh no.
So,
Next week, that's what we talk about next week. That's what I'm excited for next week. Is we get into our Royal Rumble shit.
oh yeah.
We do our fantasy booking for Royal Rumble next week. I'm kind of excited. So WWE, they had R-Truth being Truth. There wasn't really too much on NXT that I saw that I was like,
Well, I can kind of talk a little bit more about Raw. I like
yeah,
we talked about the off before we started this. We talked about the match on AEW. We need to talk about the other outcoming match from that debacle last week.
I want to say this. Okay, before we get into AEW on our part, because we talked about it before, the entire internet gave these two individuals, actually, they didn't. They gave Hook the most shit because of Tony. Who performed better in their championship matches? That's all I'm going to say, is who actually performed better.
I'd say yes, Hook did perform better, but I felt like it was kind of like it was an underdog story in a sense of both in the match, both in the social media realm, both in the reality aspect of it, and all that. So it had a better like underdog story overall. Because not only did your boss fuck you up and and be like, well, you better outperform, kid. You better outperform Gender, which he did. Now, would I say now the Gender match? We all knew Gender wasn't going to win. We all
Yeah.
knew it. We
Yeah.
all knew it. And Like, it was a matter of how they were going to approach it. Now, their approach, WWE's approach for Jinder, was not as great as AEW's approach for Hook. I'll admit that. I will admit that. Now, subplot wise, you had Damian Priest out in the background. You really think Jinder Mahal was gonna beat Seth Rollins and win the title? There was an instance where it could have happened, with the match and the Veer Mahan or what's the tag
Yeah.
team called?
Inder Shear? No, it's not.
Indu Share. Yeah, it's Indu
Is it
Share.
Inder Shear? Is it Inder
Indu
Shear?
Share.
Okay.
Indu Share. And so it was like, it works, I mean, I think in context to WWE lore, I think the Bollywood boys are stronger and more competent than Indu Share.
Oh.
That's my hot
Ouch.
take. That's my hot take.
Ouch.
Veer, come after me, please.
You don't want.
Oh
Pause.
no, he's
Pause.
No, I didn't say. Okay, whatever.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying that
he's gonna take weeks to show up anyway, months even. I mean,
I'm not making fun of that. You said that. I'm saying, come after. You're telling that giant hairy man to come after you. Pause. Little out of context.
I mean, it is what it is. I'm sorry, Bollywood boys are better than Indu Share that with Jinder than they were.
They were more entertaining. They
Mhm.
talked more. They got the crowd into it more.
Mhm.
Jinder got a title with them.
Mhm. Tell me when I'm telling lies. And so I'm just like they made a better situation. AEW won in that terrible situation that Tony put them in because Tony put them in it. So like he talked shit and AEW's like, well, we're gonna have to back it up because of our boss, and they did. I just hope the $2,000 fine that Tony got from Daniel Bryan was worth it. So
I am tired of the Seth Rollins championship match format.
it sucks. It sucks.
He looks weak for most of the match. His body's already bruised, beaten up, destroyed. Damian Priest teases a cash in. Something happens. Seth wins. I'm already tired of it. I'm like,
it should have stopped. I think Shinsuke should have beaten him for the title.
Yeah.
I think the right call should have been Shinsuke at the time, because you're just not even gonna sell the fact that your champion's really actually really hurt. Like the whole storyline for that was, oh, you're back, your back's gone, and then after the match, he's like, oh, I'm okay, guys. And then later down the line with CM Punk coming in as your main event for your biggest show proposed. Not like you're getting more injured and more injured. Like I don't know.
Somebody had a good idea. I saw somebody's fantasy booking online, and they were like, why not give it to Priest? Let Rollins only cut promos until Elimination Chamber. Don't have him challenge at Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Let him chill out until Elimination Chamber, and then have his singles rematch at Elimination Chamber, and kind of have that formula to where if CM Punk wins, then CM Punk can be like, and even have it strategically cut in a promo, I challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship, whoever that be. Because that is kind of like a CM Punk kind of thing where he's like, I don't care. And then just give Seth that time from live events, from TV, everything. Just give him that time to heal up.
The one time a not present champion is actually working.
Yeah.
We need to give Seth the Roman treatment, guys. He's doing too much for us.
Exactly. Like we need when I read that, I was like, that would be perfect. Plus, it gives like, the Judgment Day, it gives them a little bit more to their whole Damien's gonna split from them later on story.
Yeah, I see it. So
Especially with like, he can make a comment to Finn like, haha, I didn't have to relinquish this in a day, right, buddy?
yeah, it's all story built into it. So speaking of story, let's talk about Drew and Cody.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not I think that Drew's already at the point where he's like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to take
Yeah,
some time off.
like I can. It sucks because we can see it.
Yeah, he's
We
like,
can see it. We're just like, I mean, it's not the title, but I mean, I'll have fun with Cody. But after Cody, I think I'm out.
yeah, I think
So,
fuck it. I'd love to see Drew Galloway in TNA.
I mean, he was a champion, and he did kind of make Impact what it was,
Yeah.
So I'm just like, well, he didn't make Impact what it was. I think the one that made Impact what it
Lashley.
was who?
Lashley. When he went on that
Yes.
belt collector gimmick.
Yeah, well, Hurt Business.
Or Purpose.
I think yeah. No, because what was it back then? It was called the Beatdown Clan, I thought,
Was it the Beatdown Clan?
or I think it was something along the lines because it was, or I think that might have been a different faction. But I know Kenny King was in it, I know Loki was in it, and I know Joe was in it, and it was Lashley and MVP.
Let me see.
Because I thought it was called the Beatdown Clan. I know it was the Beatdown Clan.
It might have been. Let me see. 10-year in TNA, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to be able to find it. But if it's the Beatdown Clan, then it's the Beatdown Clan. Managers: Donald Trump, Crystal Lashley, Leo Rush.
Oh
That's
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
hell of a different that is a
was his manager at one point.
that's a
Wow.
hell of a history list that I wasn't trying to get. I was trying to my WrestleMania 23
Did you?
Detroit.
So sorry. This is gonna get a little bit political, but did you watch Kane's speech introducing Donald Trump?
I didn't. I just saw that on Twitter. People were like, he's endorsing or something like that, and I was like, because they said Kane, and I was like,
Yeah, no, they said Kane.
yeah, and I was like, are we talking about Glenn? Okay, all right, okay,
Yeah,
that's
like
interesting.
political party aside, like from what I've seen, what Kane has done for Knox County, Tennessee, it has been great. From what I can see, I'm not too political into that. I've never really been really interested in Kane's political aspirations outside of wrestling.
Plus, we don't live in Tennessee.
It's just I think the funny thing is it's only funny because Kane is the big red monster and he's Republican.
God.
So
Okay.
I mean,
The
hey, what it is what it is.
only political thing I will ever say on this podcast. Can we change it from the elephant to just be the silhouette of Kane?
Of Kane's mask.
Yes.
The Kane's mask is the true symbol of the Republican Party.
Oh
Oh,
my
dude,
God.
SmackDown versus Raw. I want Rock. Hey,
Don't do this.
Rock and Kane for presidential campaign.
Oh my.
Oh no! Throw Kurt Angle in there, why don't you?
He's independent. That's
He's
what he would be.
independent.
Oh my God. I'm still trying to. So
But anywho, back to wrestling.
back to wrestling. I'm still trying to find his faction name. Because they have like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to find it. But they have him going up against a lot. Like, he's done a lot in his career. The Beatdown Clan. It is the Beatdown Clan.
That's what I
I
thought.
finally found it.
BDC. Yeah.
Kenny King.
It was
So it
Kenny
happened.
King. It was Kenny King, Low Key, Samoa Joe, Bobby Lashley, and MVP.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I guess he had I guess he interrupted a match. Or no, he helped get Samoa Joe a title match against Austin Aries.
Because I was the Beatdown Clan versus Drew Galloway and the Revolution. Because Drew Galloway wasn't the only one to debut with, because it was a 3-man group. I forget the other one. Eli Drake was also the second one.
3MB.
Yeah.
3MB. 3MB to TNA.
Yeah. Well, no, it was Eli Drake and Drew Galloway and another guy. I forget who it was. The
Yeah.
other guy, but
Yeah.
but yeah, they fought for the title and all that stuff, and that's how Galloway beat Lashley. Now that I think about it.
I have no idea. I haven't seen that.
Sorry, I'm in my TNA bag.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
in my
like
TNA bag.
going down your rabbit hole of TNA.
Yeah.
See, this is why I'm like, oh man, we got it. We
So,
have to go watch TNA now. We have to go watch it live. One time this
we,
year.
we were so like we were really considering going to Louisiana.
Okay, so Morgan was kind of hyped about the idea. I'm not gonna lie.
She yeah, no, I think it was literally the day the tickets came out, because I was like, let me look. There's no way like TNA has like not have a sold out thing for no surrender.
Yeah, it's no surrender.
Yeah, and so I was like, let me check, let me see how much the ticket prices were costing me, thinking it was WWE style prices where it's like thousands of dollars. No, it was literally going to be $150 in like the 4th to 5th row in the back, hard cab side. And we're like, I mean, we drove to Utah for the same amount of time, and
so I'll say this, and now we'll have video of it. Bound for Glory and Slammiversary, or no, Bound for Glory and Sacrifice are in Canada, so we can't do those. But that doesn't mean that we still can't go see one, especially because they go to Tennessee all the time, and they go to Nevada. I mean, I'm not saying, but I am saying it is kind of doable. It's kind of doable.
Yeah. I think I would rather save money for the plane ticket and enjoy the
and enjoy the ride up there.
Yeah.
And not, because if we almost died going to Utah because of the mountains, God forbid the swamp bayou would try to suck us in.
Oh, and it's also the week after Mardi Gras.
Oh no.
Yeah. You want to do some voodoo shit?
No, I don't. Come back.
Voodoo shit on Bourbon Street. Tuesday.
Let's not
go.
Let's not do that. Okay, so what are your thoughts on Dynamite this week? Because you watched the highlights. Like, what did you think about Dynamite this week? Okay, did you like that Tony Storm threatened to punch a woman in her box?
Yes, I did. I just like Deonna Purrazzo is very much going to be a highlighted portion. It's someone new for her to work with and on AEW television. So I'm excited for that and all. It's interesting that at least they're finally starting to get into something with the women's division now with Deonna Purrazzo added to it. I just need a couple more weeks to see what they're really gonna do. Like I love the cut. Now, as far as character work is concerned, they got it down pat. for every time they cut to Tony Storm, it's always the black and white. Like they have it down pat with her, but what about everyone else? You know, like yeah, your champion's gonna be like, come on,
Yeah, 100%.
you know, but like Deonna Purrazzo right now is a contender until Britt Baker comes back, until Thunder Rosa decides like, hey, let's have another brutal match. So
No,
so
I'm actually excited because like I think we have too many attempts at a woman's faction. I really do. But
uh
with the backstage love that Britt Baker and Deonna Purrazzo have for each other, I'm like, this is perfect. This is actually a genuine friendship that could be a cool tag team, that could be a cool faction. If we get Rebel back, there's so many possible ways that
Jamie Hayter.
oh, dude, coming
So
after Timeless Tony Storm is going to be one of the coolest things in the world.
that's the
No
match
matter
to
what.
build to, because well, let's be honest, I think Jamie Hayter needs that title match soon.
So,
Soon.
well, she's still injured, but
Well, yeah, but
what are your thoughts on the fact that everybody and their mother and Fightful and everybody, I've already said that multiple times, but it's weirdly being pushed or manifested into reality that Mercedes Moné is coming to AEW. Okay, let me ask you this, because this is a better way. Would you rather see her as number 24 in the Rumble, or would you rather see her make her debut on Dynamite the week before the Rumble?
I don't
Oh,
know if I
see?
want. I don't know if I want Mercedes. If Mercedes Moné or if Sasha Banks comes back, it has to be 30.
Really?
I feel like the pop for it. Like think. I'm just thinking in terms of what would you give that crowd? What
Yeah.
would you give that crowd? You know, because it's in Tampa. It's in Tampa.
It's Tropicana Fields in Tampa.
Yeah, because it's Tampa. What would you give that crowd? You know, and it's like you can set up something in between Mania and Rumble to where it could be Sasha versus Becky, you know, and like have that feud go on, or redo that feud now since they're both megastars at that point. But do I want? I think it's logical for Rhea to have Becky Lynch as the main event
Yes.
for WrestleMania because she's already beaten Charlotte. She's already beat. She needs to face Becky, and if Sasha does come back, you can do a program with Sasha at SummerSlam or even the next Mania. You know, if that's the case, and I feel like Sasha at 30 could do that. It would generate enough buzz, but I don't think Sasha should win it.
And see, that's where I'm in between, is because I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so
Well, no,
obviously,
Sasha should win it. Sorry.
and see, I'm like, I know she should, but I'm like, look, anybody who actually, hot take, anybody that does care about professional wrestling knows about all the other companies outside of WWE. So they know what she's been doing. So to have her come out and then be number 30 and then lose, that's such a bad way. But we've been building to Rhea and Becky for so long that
Mhm.
it's like,
It's one of those weird conundrums. It's
we
like,
need to finish a goddamn story already.
you know, it's 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 like it's the story. We want to finish the story, but the story is the Da Vinci Code.
Oh no.
It's gonna take about 4 books. No, the story's like Game of Thrones and
Oh, it's gonna take
George R.
8
R. Martin.
seasons, and we're all gonna be mad at the end.
And George R. R. Martin has yet to finish the final book. That's
Oh,
Cody's story. Let's put that into perspective. That's it. Unfortunately, that's Cody's story.
oh.
Uh,
And if you guys watched last week's episode, you guys know that Chris is very much into like, I need to finish this story.
I need what's it called?
The never-ending story. That's what Morgan called it.
No, I need what's it called? I not
Closure.
vindication, closure. I need closure. I need closure.
You need
I'm
closure.
so emotionally invested that I need closure. Just give Cody the belt, please. Just give it and make my Gunther Cody match true, and I'll be happy. I'll be happy.
It's technically not even going to finish the story because he's not winning the WWE Championship. He's winning the Universal. But we'll get into that when we get into Mania. When we have to do, dude, we're gonna have to. Okay, think about this. For Mania week, we're gonna have to do 4 lives.
I mean, hey, if we want to be a part of the wrestling journalism business, we got to do like the rest of them.
We gotta because we'll do Thursday. We'll do
Thursday, Friday before go home. Friday for go
Saturday,
home.
Saturday because of NXT Takeover and
Night one.
and then Sunday for main event night 2.
Mm-hmm. So let's get back into AEW real quick. So let's talk
yeah,
about
we went so far,
yeah,
so far gone.
Let's talk about the Vince McMahon.
You don't disrespect Nicholas and Matthew Jackson, the EVPs of AEW.
If Tony wasn't going to do it, it has to be those two. Yeah, and you know, you and I
could
both
you
know.
Smell the petty? Because
Huh?
I could smell the petty.
Yeah, I could smell the absolute petty, and I love it. But like, let's be honest with this. You really think Tony was going to be like, I'm gonna be the heel? I cannot. No amount of, and I only say this as a joke. Let me precurse this because some people tend to like be super sensitive when it comes to people making jokes about Tony Khan doing cocaine. But with the amount of cocaine, I don't think even with the amount of cocaine Tony does, he can never match the amount of assholery that Vince McMahon could ever be in this heel turn. And
so it had to be it had to be
it had to. It had to. Like it had to.
It's so funny because they're like, we gave the like, what did they say? Old decrepit superstars or something like that. They took a shot.
They did. I mean, if I'm gonna say Tony Khan was kind of looking a little bit like Dixie Carter for a brief moment. Yeah. And I mean, like I think that like and with this Dynamite, I could see like they have Orange Cassidy on the card. They had the Best Friends on the card. They had Penta on the card. They had Hook on the card, and AEW built original talent fighting for the title. They had Eggman come in. They had Swerve, who was a WWE guy prior,
but wasn't utilized.
Wasn't utilized, yes. That's probably like the only thing. They had the Guns go over, which I'll get into the whole Ring of Honor thing with Ring of Honor titles being defended on AEW. There's a whole thing that I feel like I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me, but I'll get back into that. They had, of course, Christian and Dustin. You know, I feel like that match could have been like a collision match, and I like it was kind of weird. Maybe I just didn't see the build for why Dustin had a random TNT title match.
No, you missed it. You missed it last week on Rampage.
Yeah, so
Christian took a shot at Dusty, basically, and was like,
and then Dustin just gets awarded a title shot.
Yeah.
Okay. But like it was all a lot. I saw more AEW original talent in this Dynamite for this year so far, and I like it because now they're really like honing in. Hopefully, minus the ROH tag time. I love the Mark Briscoe spot. I completely forgot that it was a year since Jay died. So like RIP, but like he had like at least his daughter's walking again. Shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like man, like Mark Briscoe He's been through hell for it.
You
With his
remember how
rookie.
that happened, right?
The car crash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lady was trying to get rid of herself, and instead she got rid of Jay.
Oh, don't say it like that. It was exactly like that.
It's out of complete respect, and I cried that night. I really love the Briscoes. I'm very mad at that whole situation, and that's why I tried to choose my words carefully. But yeah, that was the situation, and it got something that didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
Happened that night.
I like the challenge from Roderick Strong to Orange, him being a bullshit heel. So
I'm
I'm
mad
just
about that. I'm so mad because they're gonna take the title off my boy, and I love the fact
I'm
that
not opposed. I'm not opposed. Roderick Strong deserves that title.
what?
He
Give him the
deserves.
TNT.
Yeah, but how many times are we gonna watch Orange Cassidy bloody as fuck putting his hands in there and be like, I'm not the best, but I'm the best, low key, you know?
Screw
Like
you. That's a
he
great
literally,
gimmick.
what does Orange Cassidy have to prove? He went one-on-one with John Moxley.
He doesn't have to prove anything. It's just now it's become like a staple. Like if he, like when you take your your collar off your pet and you're like, oh, they're naked. Like that's what he's gonna look like every time he comes
It
out with.
doesn't serve the United Kingdom.
They're not
The
even from the UK.
No, not the United, the Undisputed
Kingdom.
They're united still, okay? They're all united. So, but
Morgan was like, I mean, I can say the same for Mox, kind of about how many like bloody matches we could see.
like, don't get me wrong, Orange Cassidy has a niche for AEW. He's always going to have that niche for AEW. He's proven himself to be that champion. But I think with Roderick Strong and the whole Undisputed Kingdom thing, it's going to be another title collector faction, you know, and it's only just to be a placeholder for when Adam Cole eventually becomes the champion, you know, and maybe they'll pay it off, maybe they won't, but
I don't think they will. But we'll get into that when we get there.
So
and
then there's the Hook match and the Joe match. Private Party too, sorry.
Yeah, I can honestly say this in a long time. I'm very proud of the last 2 episodes that AEW has put out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who. I don't know if maybe they've taken a little power away from Tony, but like it has been like a hell of a run that they've been going into this new year. And it's not like, oh my God, these 5-star matches. It's just storytelling. It's just
they are
fun.
united. They are
not the UK.
They are the UK though.
So we're gonna end this episode. They are the UK, but they're not the UK. So I've been happy. I loved the Hook match. I really wanted an apron. One of the ring aprons. I really wanted one for the Suicide Squad game.
Oh yeah. I guess they are having Arkham Batman.
Are they?
I guess. I don't know. I'm just like tangent. IGN shitting on the game and no one knows what's really going on and it's confusing. But back to AEW. Back
to wrestling.
My only concern with and I said this before we started this was I liked the Hook match. They outperformed WWE in the debacle that Tony put themselves in. they were given Tony unfortunately were like my show's better. And they were like, God damn it, Tony, why'd you gotta do that?
God
so
damn
now
it,
we have to perform to the level so that we have to prove them wrong. So and they did. My only critique of the match was that, like, Hook, I felt, should have at least been put down. I get the call, like, the precedent is, for me at least, was Jeff Hardy versus Badass Taker. Okay,
Mhm.
Jeff Hardy kept getting up, but at the end, Taker, for that match at least, gave Hardy respect. He didn't put him down again. Joe put him down again, and he
Yeah.
kept getting back up. Now, is it a testament to Hook being a badass champion and being Taz's kid and all that stuff? Like, being like the guy with the record that he has, given an AEW universe, like, yes, it works, but for me, it was hard to swallow the pill of having someone just get up. And you have proven a point too that, like, in MMA fights, people will get up after being choked out and stuff, yada yada. But to me, I felt like Joe being a champion should have killed. That was his first title defense, and he should have killed. So, it's not.
It also lays the groundwork too a little bit for age. Like,
Mhm.
oh, Joe's been on this just killer Ring of Honor TV championship run. But maybe time's coming up, buddy. Maybe time's
Man,
coming up a little
mhm.
bit. Like, we all grew up with Joe. No matter what company, no matter what, we all grew up with Joe. And now it's kind of to the point where we're like, oh no. Like when we saw Cena at WrestleMania and we were all like, oh, that was kind of that sucked. And now we've starting to get to the downfall. I mean,
Mhm.
Joe's gonna have a good world title run. Revolution's already being teased as a triple threat, but it's like, oh, okay, maybe he can't hang as much as shit as he talked in Daly's place. Maybe he can't hang.
Because, like, you got Swerve and you got Hangman, and
Yeah.
it's at least it makes Joe a believable loser at given, now that you say the age thing.
Yeah.
Because but also, like, given how dominant Joe has been up until this point, becoming champion, it was just it for me, it soured on Joe's dominance to an extent, at least a slight little bit, because it's like the dude survived a muscle buster outside of the ring. He?
No, he did it inside the ring.
Okay, inside
When
the
he did
ring.
when he, like, I have never seen, and
Uranagi.
no, I've seen a Uranagi. I've never seen anybody launch their body so high to get out of a 1 count. That's
That
what threw Twitter like on fire. Everybody is mad. They're like, that's so bad for Joe. And I was like,
So
it's
I
not.
liked the 1 count spot. I did. I really did, because it was like, he just fucking kicked out at 1. What the fuck is going on? Why the fuck is this kid kick? It was a good heat for me.
Yeah.
It was like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? Like, why would you do that to yourself? You're going up against Joe. Why would you do that? You're
Bro,
asking
Tom
for him to
Holland
kill
was
you.
on a whole different level last or on
Oh,
Dynamite.
but, like, I'll give Hook credit. He proved a lot of people wrong. He proved a lot of people wrong, and I didn't want to talk a lot of shit going into it. I know the initial shit talk I had was, I mean, he's kind of holding a meme title, and it's like,
Yeah.
come on, it's the at face value thing, but I never
Oh,
said.
I thought you were calling the AEW World Championship a meme title.
No, I'm talking about the literal meme title that Hook has.
The FTW title?
Yes.
I kind of want one. I want a replica. I kind of want a
So,
replica.
okay. But I didn't talk a lot of shit going into this match with Joe, because I was like, let me see what he does, because given the whole Tony thing, I was like, what are they gonna do now? Because now you can't just have Hook just get killed. because then you prove WWE right.
Yes.
And like it's weird, and I feel like like it was the most AEW like they what did the Bucks say in their interview? They set out to make AEW to change the world,
Yeah.
and it really after a while it hasn't been that way for quite a while, for
For
at least
about,
to me.
I'll say it. So that match, that whole match right there, it gave me year 1 and year 2 vibes, where
Mhm,
they were like, okay, we're just gonna like burn the house or bring the house down in every match is what
mhm,
it felt like. Because when Cody was there, like that's really what the booking was. It was like, all right, cool, y'all are the mid card, you're gonna be better than the main event. All right, main event, you got to hold up to that standard. And I felt like
mhm.
that match was like, it was trying to be better than Raw.
Yeah, so like I feel like they finally kind of just sat everyone around, put Tony in a closet somewhere, duct taped him, and be like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna have the guy just watch the TV, just make the matches, but you guys need to like kill it.
Bring the house down. You guys
Yeah,
need to kill it.
because now the asshole in the closet is talking so much shit that we need to prove it. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a detrimental thing. Probably a good thing in this instance, because now we got a guy who talks too much shit, who's the owner. He's like Jerry Jones. He's like Jerry Jones. I'm sorry. I know it's a soft spot, but it's like, yeah, we got this right team. We got this right team, but they're never going to make it to the playoffs. You know, like like
It yeah.
it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing, and it's only good in moderation.
So what I think, and we can go into, or I'll ask you a little tidbit. If you've seen, have you seen before I go on a tangent, we can reach this later. Have you seen the video of Jeff Hardy?
Where he turns heel, I want Antichrist. I want the Antichrist.
Okay, cool. We'll talk about that in a minute. So I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm a big AEW diehard. Like I love it. I've gotten to experience the show. I always am gonna love AEW a lot. I think that we're in a good direction. I'm just worried that we are getting back to the point where we are signing way too many people in a shorter period of time. Because we just got Black Taurus this morning, and I'm like, dude, we just got Deanna Prazo. If we are getting Mercedes, you already have like 90 luchadors. We don't need another luchador. Thank you very much. So I'm getting into that point where, like, what, 2 years ago when he was signing everybody, and I was like, oh no, we are getting into a point where we are going to have too many people to do anything with.
Well, can I kind of add to that?
Yeah,
So Tony is signing a whole bunch of people to AEW, but why in the fuck are the ROH titles being defended on fucking AEW? You know,
because
maybe that could fix the issue instead of
because we
having. Go ahead.
because the number, like the viewership for Ring of Honor right now isn't good.
But that's the whole point of building Ring of Honor.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying he wants the 6-man titles to get the best opportunity and the most eyes on them. So you
Could have
have to
had the
put it on.
Acclaim versus the Bang Bang Gang.
We are.
Instead,
We're probably going to get that, dude. But like
they
6-man titles
and
versus 6-man titles.
and then we're just gonna have dual champions, or ugh.
I want to see a 12-man championship.
A 12-man championship match.
A
Just
12-man
and the ROH
championship.
titles are just de facto pink with scissors.
Yes, I would love it. It's the greatest thing in the world.
It's
I want it.
but again, like I feel like they really need to focus a lot more on ROH and building ROH into something. I get the viewership isn't there. I get there's not a lot of interest, but it's the same thing with TNA. TNA literally did it. They were like, let's bring back the old TNA. Let's build on top of what we've built, like we know who we are. I just feel like ROH is in that growing pain stage where it's like we don't know exactly who we are, but we're owned by this bigger company, therefore we're kind of just under the umbrella of this bigger company. They need to stop thinking that way and really start like, this is fucking ROH, like you know
So, here in the next couple of weeks, if I'm thinking of the right guest, we're gonna have a guest on who used to help out with the old ROH, and I think we could stick like this whole topic into there and be like, what would you bring back? But let me think if I'm thinking of the right guest. Um, Overall, that's it.
pretty much
That's
it.
that's
Yeah.
it. That's our time for this week. Next week we are going to have, hopefully we'll have a few guests, and we're going to have kind of like a round table where we just try and shoot our shot with who comes closest to the Royal Rumble, because we're getting into Mania season and we're getting into the
So I'm
busiest time of the
curious,
year.
and maybe we should be talking outside after this. But I'm curious, like, how many people that do watch this show that I've hit up, we had Nikki G on.
Yeah,
It's not. There is a possibility. Like, what if like we hit up other podcasts, and have an actual roundtable.
we could do that. We need to try
You know?
that. Let's see if we. Let's see if we can.
Like
Let's do it.
instead of just have us at max 3 guests, what if we had like 10 guests?
Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus!
It's a
Oh,
town
no.
hall, not a round table at that point.
It's a town hall for for everyone to say that unfortunately Punk is going to win. That's my living hell right
Yep.
now.
Yep, that's your nightmare.
That is my nightmare. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow us at the socials, on YouTube at Downtime in the Ring, on TikTok at Downtime in the Ring, Instagram at Downtime in the Ring, and we will see you in the next one.
1 second before you end it. TNA, total nonstop arseholes. Don't tell Jeff Jarrett.
Oh Jesus fucking Christ.